carver. But, believe it or not, it does actually go around a corner. I don't know how he's gonna stay in his seat because you slide all over the place, you know, and you're wrenching this wheel. I mean, look at my hands. This is nuts. I'm gonna come out of this thing. I'm gonna be black from top to bottom. And you know what? I'm gonna love every minute of it.
The airbags are off of a RTD bus, which is an old LA transit system. There's one dead center right here, and there's two in the back. It raises up right around 9.5 inches. There's a shock on each side of the bag, and then one on each side over here. And then there's two in the back, and that's just to kind of keep the car stable, but it pretty much all rides on the bags themselves. And then the wishbones are connected to Heim joints, which are off of a landing gear off of a Learjet. So this thing's built bulletproof, it's made to run, and you look at it and you're like, this thing's not gonna go anywhere, but aside from you sliding around, this thing is on rails and it'll do a canyon all day long. I mean, granted, it'll do it at 45, but it'll do it at 45 pulling your house.
As far as back support, I have news. I'll definitely be in the chiropractor's office on Monday because, I mean, this is ridiculous. This thing, this grenade shifter, let me tell you something, it's a bomb for a reason. Whoa! You go into these turns, and part of you is holding on for dear life, part of you is waiting to see if there's something around the next corner, because if you hit it, they're finished. I want one of these. I want one of these, and I want to drive through downtown Berkeley with black smoke belching out of the 6 pipes. We got to find a Prius owner and just suck them in. Now you got to picture this, right? We're up in the Hollywood Hills, and this is some of the most expensive real estate on the planet, and I feel like as we're driving by, people are just feeling like their property values are going down. The best is everybody that just looks. People have no concept of what to make in this thing. How you doing? What's going on? Good to see you. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Hi, how you doing? How are you? Good to see you. How are you? Good to see you. Nice to see you. Well, welcome to Hollywood.
This car is a spectacle. It's the fly in the ointment and the black sheep of the family. That's why we can think of no better place to take it than down to the most look-at-me strip in the United States, Rodeo Drive. Not only did we get looks and comments from everyone, but we even got up close and personal with one of the local residents.
How do you beat this day where you're rolling down Hollywood Boulevard in something that, like, people just don't know what to do? You want a picture? Absolutely take a picture. Yeah. I honestly don't know what to say about this car. You know, you look at it, you drive it, and it beats you to death. The clutch is like pushing in a sledgehammer every time you try to engage it. It belches black smoke and soot and dirt, like literally the likes of which I've never seen. Like, you see, this is like a white cloth, and if I go like this, that's no longer white. And you know what? My jeans are disgusting, my hair, my shirt, and it was so worth it.
I drive a lot of sketchy stuff. That seems sketchier than anything I drive.
It wasn't. You know what? Well, because you never go over 50 miles an hour. That car, between 0 and 50, that car is just fantastic. So it works. Everything on the car works perfectly.
What about when you go around a corner? Then what happens?
It's got a wheelbase that's 7.5 feet wide on truck tire. It's basically a rolling square.
Yeah, and we all know, I mean, Colin Chapman said, light poles make for great chassis.
Make for great exhaust, too.
To me, it just looks a bit dangerous.
Dude, you drive a 2CV. You've got pizza cutters for tires. You've got a seat that's made out of balsa wood with wood screws that probably don't even hold it in, because you took it out, so obviously.
In all fairness, his rear seat is a rollaway bed.
And it's made to carry sheep.
Exactly. Let's celebrate these things now.
I haven't always wanted a 2CV, but I have for a little while now. The urge first took hold when I first read the Alan Clark diaries in my teens. His description of the joys of driving one seemed so potent that I promised myself I would, one day, own one myself. For many years I thought I'd drive one back from the family holiday in France, but never quite got round to it. I was also quite sniffy about the spec I wanted. It had to be an early car with the ripple bonnet and the comedy 425cc engine, and it had to be shabby but mechanically and structurally sound. I was browsing the classifieds one night recently, and there it was, the perfect car. Original everything, sitting on a renewed chassis and fitted with a newish motor. I test drove it and bought it immediately. To understand the 2CV, you need to know something of its history. Originally planned in the mid-1930s as cheap motorised transport for rural types, the first prototype was finished the day before the start of the Second World War. During occupation, all unfinished prototypes were ordered to be destroyed, but a few weren't, and the project continued in secret, so that come the 1948 Paris Motor Show, the 2CV was unveiled. It used a 375cc air-cooled flat twin, and it actually had 9 horsepower. My car is a later 1957 model, with a full 12 horsepower, electric start and door locks. As a piece of design intended to meet people's motoring needs, I think it's both the best and most interesting car I have or ever will own. Thin gauge steel means it weighs just 550 kilograms, and yet it seats 4 people. Both benches can be removed for picnicking, and it will meet the original design requirements of carrying 2 adult farmers and 50 kilograms of potatoes at 39 miles an hour. Well, just. The design detail is just so pure and simple. The engine and 6-volt electrics are weak, so the wipers are driven from the speedo cable. The heater is literally 2 pipes leading off the cylinder barrels. To shut it off, close the flaps. If you want more cold air, open another flap. For sun in the hair motoring, it's just unbeatable.
Right, people. How can you not love these cars? You're about to experience 12 horsepower with 2 grown men in it. There is a car a quarter of a mile away there now, but I have to wait to let him go, because if I went, I'd ruin his journey.
Next up on Drive.
Put it downhill. You see, your whole world just brightens the moment you see it's downhill.